Hey everyone, this is Nathan Williams with BlackRain79.com, and I am back here with another hand history review for you guys. So this hand was sent to me by Neil, and he's got the old pocket aces. This hand was played on 888 Poker. We're playing 1 cent, 2 cent. It's clearly full ring. We have got full nine players at the table. So he's got aces in the 3 seat there. Sort of, I mean, some people would call that middle position. Some people would call it early position. It's somewhat early, middle-ish, whatever. Villain 8 comes in for the raise to 6 cents. And I should mention that Neil told me he doesn't have any stats on anyone. He just sat down at the table. So it's going to be one of those hands where we're basically just playing against unknowns. As I've talked about before, when you're playing against unknowns at these stakes, I pretty much just play everything by the book. You don't want to be going in. I mean, you can't really do anything. I mean, you just don't have any information. The entire reason why we make a decision this way or that way in poker that strays away from the quote-unquote standard play is because we have some specific read. But if we just sat down at the table and we have no reads, this is a problem I see a lot of people making, is they just do something wacky, and it's like, I'll ask them, why did you do that? And they're like, well, it's a hunch. Or some, well, you have to have evidence. You got to have a reason why. That's a big thing. So make sure that if you want to do something tricky, like for instance just flat call here, you have to have a very, very clear reason. Otherwise, you should always be doing what Neil does here, which is 3-bet. So yeah, I'm totally agree with Neil's decision here. However, I would actually at NL2 here, 1 cent, 2 cent, I would prefer actually going a little bit higher in a spot like this, especially at full ring. I prefer making it more like 24 cents or something like that, because I just feel that these players are just going to call. I mean, they just call anything at these stakes. I mean, this is absurd. I mean, actually, you're going to see in this hand. You're going to see. Exhibit A is this hand. So Villain 3, once again, we have no statistics on anybody. So Villain 3 comes in for the cold call of the 3-bet. And Villain 8, I mean, you can't really blame him. Full stacks, of course, he's going to call as well with whatever he has. And we're going to go see a flop. So, actually, I mean, just getting back to the pre-flop there. So, yeah, I do like going a little bit higher than the 3x that Neil made it. I would prefer a 4x or, honestly, guys, if there's just complete maniacs that you see, these guys that are playing 60% of their hands and stuff that you will see sometimes, especially in this game, NL2, I'll just make it 40 cents to go or something. If they're just going to call anything, I mean, just raise anything almost. But anyways, I'm getting on a bit of a tangent there, and I've talked about that stuff ad nauseum before, especially in my first book, Crushing Microstakes, and in these videos a million times on my blog. So let's get to this hand. Obviously, extremely good flop for aces. We are second to act. Yeah, second to act on this hand. So Villain 8 checks, and Neil goes for the c-bet, which I totally agree with. I really like his sizing as well. He made it 2/3 or a little less than 2/3. I think it's perfect because this is a spot here where there's no point in bombing the pot. There's no point in making it 40, 45 cents because you really want hands like pocket 6s, pocket 7s to just come along for the ride thinking, oh, well, I've got an overpair, whereas if you bomb it here like 45 cents or something, I think you put a hand like pocket 6s, pocket 7s to a real decision where they're thinking, well, I could just get out right now. I don't have to keep paying these big prices. But if you size it like Neil does here, I think that really kind of ropes in those hands. So I really, really like his bet sizing in this spot. So, wow. Okay. So Villain 3 decides to go all in. Let's see what Villain 8 does. He gets out of the way. Once again, we have no reads on anyone. This is Neil just sat down at the table. No reads, NL2. I briefly looked over this hand before. I'm going to tell you my decision is a snap call. I don't even think about it, honestly. I mean, these guys are just goofballs. I think I've reviewed at least 2 hands in the past month or two that you guys have sent me where some guy did the exact same thing, just losing his mind with God knows what. I mean, this is just an absolute snap call to me, especially on a board like this. I mean, what has the guy got? He's got a 3 in his hand? I mean, if this somehow cold called a 3-bet pre-flop with a 3 in his hand, I mean, God bless him. Good old NL2, gotta love it. So, on a flop like this, against an unknown player, I'm just not even with aces. I mean, this is just an absolute snap call for me. There's really not a whole lot to discuss for me at these stakes. So I'm totally agree with Neil's decision. See how this hand plays out. Everybody's thinking, wow, it's got to be the best run out ever. There's no way on earth you could ever lose this hand, right? Oh boy. I mean, this hand, kind of just one of these, crazy, one of the craziest. It's almost a bad beat story, to be honest, really. So it's not, I'm going to say, I mean, thank you for sending me this hand, Neil. I mean, it's definitely, I think that all the hands you guys send me are useful, but kind of I don't think there, I mean, all the action is all in on the flop, so there's really not a whole lot to say. But I think that the play in this hand is pretty straightforward. The only thing that I would maybe do a bit different is the pre-flop, maybe to make it the 3-bet a little bit more, especially when we're in early position there as well. I should point out there's a lot more people to act as well. I like to size up, especially with the aces type hand like aces or kings. But other than that, I guess, Neil was definitely wondering about the flop, and I think it's the right decision to call on the flop. I mean, you guys can see, I mean, we're completely just, what is that, 80, 90% to win or something on the flop. Guy hits some miracle run out, whatever. But yeah, I think that this hand was played well. Hopefully the education value for you guys is in the pre-flop, my discussion about bet sizing, and on the flop as well. I mean, just if you guys want to know my decision making in a spot like that when I've got aces and the guy just ships the flop, yeah, I'm calling. Maybe if it's some guy that I've got 500 hands on and he's like playing 10% of his hands, and I know he's just one of these guys playing 20 tables waiting for the nuts, okay, might think about it. But typically those guys are not going to just shove with pocket fives or something like that. So yeah, I think that the flop is a slam dunk call. You should beat him into the pot because this is what they show up with a lot of the time. I mean, what are you shoving with on 5-3-3? There's not even a flush draw on that board. That's what he's shoving with, something like that. Obviously, crazy run out. It's pretty hilarious. That's poker, I guess. From time to time, in a hand like this, there's no way on earth we're not losing all our money in this hand. But luckily, the rolls always get reversed in the future, and he's always going to lose all his money to us, and we hit the running straight flush as well. So let me know your guys' thoughts on this hand. It's obviously a pretty wacky, crazy hand how it ran out. But other than that, I think that Neil played this hand just great overall. Pre-flop, maybe the bet sizing could have been a bit different, but other than that, I think you played this hand well. This is NL2, and this is the kind of stuff you see all the time. People think poker's dead or something. I mean, I don't. What games are people playing? Like, this is people tell me that everybody is some tight knit or something. I know this is NL2, but still, I mean, look at this. These are some of the worst players on earth. Cold call 3-bet before the flop with 4-5, and then ship the flop when they got top pair. And of course, they're going to nail their straight flush 1 out of 1,800 times or whatever. Probably not even, it's probably actually 1 out of 10,000 times or something. But anyways, guys, lots of good games out there, obviously, as you can see by this. And that's when I see something like that, I'm always like, I am playing in a good poker game right now. So mark that guy, Villain 3, and try to get on all of his tables because he's a real fun player. So anyways, let me know what you guys think about this hand. Let me know your thoughts on the pre-flop and on the flop. Make sure you like the video if you like seeing videos like this, and make sure you subscribe to my channel and hit the notification with the bell as well so you can always get the update on when I put out a new video. I'm reviewing your guys' hands all the time. By the way, if you guys want to send me one of your hands to be reviewed on YouTube, you absolutely can go ahead. My email address is nathan@blackgreen79.com. I do need to warn you, I do have quite a backlog of hands. I've got, I don't know, probably at least 20 or 30 still that I haven't even gotten to. So it might take a month or two for me to get to it, but I promise I will get to it, and I will send you an email when the video just like this gets made and put on YouTube. The only thing is, a lot of people are sending me hands, and they're not sending me the hand history file. I import this into Poker Tracker. Actually, Neil asked me in the email, how am I making these videos? Well, I'm talking into a mic, and I import your hand into Poker Tracker, and I'm using the replayer in Poker Tracker. So I do need the actual hand history file in order to import it into Poker Tracker. So you go into Poker Tracker, or if you're using Hold'em Manager, Javaro, any of these programs, I'm pretty sure they're all the same. You click on the hand, right-click, and then, at least in Poker Tracker, it's export and then you put it wherever it is on you're going to put it on your computer. You send me an email, you attach that file, and boom, in hopefully 2 months or less, I make the YouTube video, I send you an email, and you're famous on YouTube. So yeah, send me your hand history if you want me to review your hand here on YouTube. And thanks a lot for all you guys that are sending me them. I got so many. I'm going to start recording, I promise, and get to them all. So with that said, that's all I got, guys. Make sure you grab my free ebook in the description below. That'll give you my complete strategy on how to crush these stakes. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. It's been Nathan Williams with BlackRain79.com.